Hey, high levelers. I want to show you a very easy and simple way that you can use email campaigns and how to set them up inside of Highlevel. I'm going to show you this is very quick, very easy. Now, there are going to be some setup things that you're going to have to do. Obviously, you're going to have to configure the emails and stuff like that. But let me show you a few tips and tricks about setting up an email campaign and stick in there with me toward the end. And I'm going to show you how you can make sure that these emails go out at certain times or even start at a certain date and time. And then that way you can bulk send everybody something all at once, and then it'll only send out at a certain date and time. And that way you can get pre-ready and you can get it all done before the date even gets there. So anyway, let's hop into it and let me show you what I'm talking about here. So right now I've got a demo account here. And before I get into doing some of the campaign building, some of the automation, what I'd like to do is just quickly go over some of the email areas inside of Highlevel. So if you haven't already, you'll need to do this first. This is the setup process that you need to do with going through and creating some emails. Now, inside of Highlevel, there's a couple different ways that you can set up emails. You can come in here under marketing to the left, go to emails at the top, and then come over here to templates. When you come over to template, you can create several different templates. You can use some of the templates in the template marketing campaign if those work for you. You can come here and actually use templates from an existing campaign, or you can even start with a blank one where you can use a nice design editor, which is a nice visual editor for creating like drag and drop. You can do images, videos, social media, all that cool stuff is in there. This code editor, I've never really quite used it because everything you have to manually code it, like doing coding. And I'm not necessarily want to do that with my email coding, or you can do something just in a plain text editor. So you can do either one of those three here. Now, the other area that you could do is come up here, what they call snippets. Now, snippets are just an area where you can actually create both SMS templates and email templates in here. So if you want to create a new snippet, it's going to ask you here at the top, do you want a text or email snippet? You're just going to do email. Here's where a very basic email, and this is really only for text, but this is a very plain Jane. If you just want to send out text messages and you want to have those here without having to deal with sort of the design builder itself, this is a very easy template to do. So you're going to put in the name of the email. This is that email template. So you don't want to say like customer nurture email 1 or something like that, just to let you know what it is so you can easily find it later. Then I'm going to show you, you'll need to do that. You're going to put in the email subject, and then you're going to sit back and actually write out and put the email here. You do have the option to do bold text, so you do have a rich text editor here. You can also include attachments and things like that as well, and then send test emails. And then as you're doing this, it shows you what that looks like on the mobile phone over here. Now, if you're like me and you really just absolutely suck or you hate necessarily building and writing email campaigns, one of the things I do want to give you, and I'm going to link to this video, is this right here. If you go to my YouTube channel, I created another YouTube video called AI Email Marketing Tutorial. And this is where I give you like a whole script of, I think the script may be actually in here in the description. Yeah, like this, there's a whole Chat GPT prompt right here that you can literally copy and paste in a Chat GPT. Now, there are some areas that you have to fill stuff in, like your business name and some other things about what the email templates are about, but then let Chat GPT actually create all the emails for you. And then that way you just copy the subject, paste it, copy the body, paste it, and do all that kind of cool stuff. So I at least want to make sure that you had that available as a resource. Now, one of the other things I want to make sure of, and I'm not going to cover it here, I'm just going to mention it, is this little option right here called trigger links. If you are doing email marketing, you absolutely should be using trigger links. Now, if you don't know what a trigger link is, real quick, it's just a way of Highlevel to track if somebody actually clicked on something in your email. Now, opening up the email, that's one thing. Highlevel can detect where somebody opens the email. But this is if you have a product, or if you have a certain hyperlink, maybe a special or view products or something like that. If you have a link inside of there and you're interested if they click on that link, then you need to make that link a trigger link. And now you can actually track if somebody clicked on the trigger link and actually executed it, which makes it very nice to let you know if people are using that link or whether or not you need to change your email templates. So anyway, I just want to at least give you that as a basic fundamental before you actually get building an email campaign and start doing the automation. So speaking of those automations, we're going to hop over here to the left to the automations area, and I'm going to show you how to build one and some of the pre-made ones that I already have. So I'm going to open this up. It's just a quick folder that I've got this in. So right now, I'm just going to show you from scratch, and then I want to sit back and show you the ones I've actually built. So right now, we're going to start completely from scratch. So we're going to just do start from scratch. Now, here's where if you're looking to build this, you can actually use the new AI features inside of Highlevel to do this if you wanted to. I'm not going to here. I'm just going to show you how to do this. But right now, every automation has a trigger. Now, again, if you're new to Highlevel, a trigger is just a way that the automation gets activated. Meaning, did somebody, actually, this goes back to the trigger link I told you about. You can actually have a trigger in a workflow based upon somebody clicking on a link in an email. So when they click on that link, then that means they must be interested in the product or service that you have. And if that's the case, you might want to take them out of one nurture campaign and then put them into a different nurture campaign, just as an example. But here, a trigger could be a trigger link. It could be somebody filling out a form on a website. It could be many different things. It could be adding a tag to a contact. So it could be many different things that you have as a trigger here. Now, I'm not going to do anything with triggers right here. I just want to assume that we're going to copy a bunch of contacts, highlight a bunch of contacts, and then we're going to just manually put them into an email sequence. So how do we build an email sequence? So first of all, what we need to do is come in here and add an action item. So here, this means as soon as you start running this, what's the first thing that's going to happen? So let's start out by just sending an email. Now, here's some of the things that you get when you send an email. You have the from name, the action name. And again, this is where it would be nice to put in something like email 1, because then that's the title of the email in the workflow. So you know what that is. It could be introductory email or something like that, but just make sure you label them. So when you look at the workflow, you can actually see what they're called. So here you're going to do that. You're going to choose a from name, from email address. Now you can skip this if you want to by coming up here to the settings, and I'm going to have to just come back to that, but you can come here and set the sender details right here. So you don't have to do that inside of the emails, because every email is going to ask you for the name and email address. So rather than doing that, it's better just to come in here and put in your name. Like I'll put in Ray O'Daniel, and then we'll just put in ray@gmail.com. That's not my email address, by the way. It's in the YouTube channel, but I'm just using this as an example. So once you do this, now it'll use that sender information for all of the emails that you actually send out here. So let's go back and do this again. We're going to click on an action item. We're going to send email. So here, there's a couple different options we have. Notice at the subject, this is where if you do the ChatGPT, you can copy and paste the subject right here. And now notice what they have. Create email. How do you want to do this? Do you want to do a quick compose? Meaning, do you want to actually just configure and just type in an email right here, and then that's all that you have? Now, you could do that if you want to. Me personally, I always like using templates, because that way I never have to come back into the workflow. All I need to do is if I want to change a particular email template, I'll go to that template and change it. And then the next time the workflow sends that email template out, it will use the updated template. So quick compose is just being able to sit back and type it out, everything in here. From Smart Builder, this is where I showed you earlier. Notice that this looks very familiar. Matter of fact, let me move myself out of the way here, but let me blow this up a little bit. I might get this thing jammed up a bit here. So right now you can sit back and create any of these that you want, if you want to do it directly from here. So from the Smart Builder, but if you did what I said from the very beginning, if you already created all the email templates and everything else, then you don't need to do anything here except select existing template. Now, when you do that, notice that all the templates that you had inside of your library are here. And the cool thing is you can actually search. So if you want to do like email 1. So right now, if that way, because sometimes you can't really see all the emails here. So right now we'll see that if we type in email 1, we have an email 1, we could just simply click on that. Now that template is selected here and everything is good to go. So once we have the template and that particular template configured, then we can sit back and have some other options that you guys can look at later. I'm not really going to cover it. I'm trying to keep this very basic, but you could track your clicks and do some other cool stuff here. And here's one way that you could actually send and test your emails if you wanted to. So right now, this right here means great. Now that we've got a workflow, and right now, if you want, we can always email this. I'll just call it email campaign 1. So always a good idea to name your workflows and then name all of the steps here. Notice I didn't do that here and it just says email. I'll just do email 1 here. So that way, when we do email 1, we see inside of the workflow, it says email 1. So that's a good thing. Now, when we send out one email, what we want to do is we want to wait a certain period of time. We don't want to send out, because workflows are sequential. They'll go from one step to the next until you tell it to stop and wait or do something. So you're going to have to put in what they call a wait step here. Now here, if you just click on this and just put in wait, just notice that there's a wait step here. You can click on it. Right now, there's a time delay. That's the default. And you can just simply say, and this is where you can choose any number. Depends upon how you want to send out the email sequence, what it's for. If this is like a customer nurture sequence, you might want to do 1 a day. But let's just say if you're doing something and you have a deadline where you've got in the next couple of days, your offer is going to expire, then you might want to make these emails more frequently so that they get them all before the actual offer expires. You can sit back and say, okay, wait 4 hours and then send out this one. Now, again, this is where I would simply update the name, the action name of wait 4 hours. That way you could see it here inside of the sequence. So this makes it very easy for you to say email 1, then I'm going to wait 4 hours. Then what are you going to do next? You're going to come in here and send out the next one. So you're going to send email and you're going to do the exact same thing as you did before. So you're going to select an existing template. Here, you can just simply do, there's another one in here, email 2. No. So I'll just see if there's a number 2 here. I think I have 2 of 22 or something. I have a bunch of email sequences in here for AI nurture campaign, but you can just simply select one and see the template here. Again, save the action. And again, see it says email. I do that a lot. I have to remind myself to go back and do that every time I do that. But now you have email 1. You can come down here and just do another wait step. And the wait step right now, after 4 hours, we might want to make this 12 hours. So really, your whole email sequence is just about building this thing out. Now, the great thing about Highlevel is they built in pretty much like an auto save feature to the workflow, because this people kept losing a lot of work because they forget to click save, or if you have a Mac, you might swipe away from the screen or something like that. And it's very irritating to lose that much work. But this is really all it takes to build out a campaign. Now, you could have a campaign once a day, once every couple of days, however it is. You can have 5 emails go out in an email campaign, or 50. Either one of those would work fine depending upon what your needs are. Now, let me go through it again and see what I mean. It's not really that difficult. It just requires some setup with getting your emails configured. And the good thing about this is that if you're watching this, then you can actually send this video to your virtual assistant, have your virtual assistant watch the video and actually learn how to do this. And now the virtual assistant, all you have to do is tell them what to do. They can go to ChatGPT. They can generate all that email scripts. That's exactly what I do. So they can generate the email scripts. They can send it to you for approval to make sure that everything is good on the email scripts. Great. Go ahead and create a workflow for these campaigns. Send out once a day or something like that. And then the VA knows what to put that weight set at and so forth. So those are just things that you can do to help offload some of this stuff and actually pass it off to a VA and only pay them $3, $4, $5 an hour. So much better use of their time to do this. And then whenever they're done, they can just simply email you, let you know. And then from there, you can look at the email sequence, eyeball it, make sure everything is good. And if you wanted to, you can actually test the workflow sequence if you wanted to make sure that it's performing right. So right now, I'm going to do is, that was one. I'm going to go into this AI nurture campaign. So this right here is a little bit more. This is actually in the advanced builder. I don't want to do that right now. So this right here is, again, a built out workflow. Let me see, how many emails do we have in here? 22. So there's 22 emails in this one, which is weight steps. So it's pretty straightforward to building out a workflow campaign. Now, again, this is if you're just doing strictly email. If you wanted to, you can do email. You could throw some text messaging in here. You could do a voicemail drop. If you wanted to, you can add all these different things in here that you want to, but I'm just strictly showing you how to build an email sequence. Now, a couple of other things are always good if you're dealing with automations is simply adding a tag. So if you're putting somebody to a nurture sequence, I always like to create a tag with the particular name of that nurture sequence so that then the contact gets his tag added. That lets me know that they've already been inside of that nurture sequence. That way, if I ever want to go back in my CRM system and find out who I sent that email sequence to, maybe I want to do another follow-up email sequence to the people I sent out on that campaign. Now I can find them using a smart list, and you can look that up, but it's just a way of filtering your contacts in your CRM system based upon that tag. And then you can simply find everybody, highlight everybody, select all, put them into another email campaign, and then send it off, and boom, you're ready to go. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So these are a couple of things that you can do. Now, here's some of the problems that you're going to end up having if you don't already foresee these problems. And let me explain them to you. Number one, depending upon when somebody enters this. So let's just say if we add a trigger here for, let me go back. I think I already have one, this customer nurture sequence here that has this right here is a trigger for a form submitted. So somebody goes to your website, they submit a form. You don't know when they're going to submit that form, right? You don't know when. So the problem is whenever they submit it, and let's just say it's 10 o'clock p.m. their time, the client's time, that they're doing this. So they're going to come in here, fill this form out. The workflow is going to fire. The automation is going to come in here. It's going to add the tag. I really like using this internal notification. If you don't know, that's a cool little thing that you can do to send your team or yourself either a text message, an email, or just pop up a notification inside of Highlevel that somebody did something like, hey, new lead form submitted or new contact form submitted to your team so that they can make sure they follow up with that person. So just an idea right there. Now here it comes into email one. So the email one's going to go out, let's just say at 10 o'clock at night. So then it's going to wait one day. So 10 o'clock, it's going to wait one day, 10 o'clock the next day, send another email out. Do you see the problem with that? Not everybody checks their email at 10 o'clock at night. And because they joined this workflow sequence at 10 o'clock at night, then 10 o'clock is the time that all the emails are going to be sent out to that particular person. So what if you wanted to normalize that? What if you wanted to sit back and then control when the email got sent out to them? Okay. So let's just say in this one, let me actually go back here. I don't want to mess with this one. I'm going to go back to this AI customer nurture. So let's just say we go back to here and the workflow fires, depends upon when it is. But they come in here, the tag gets added. The first email you want to go out. You want the first email to go out right away because that's going to be the one that lets people know, hey, whatever you submitted worked. It could be in the contact us form type of a situation. It could be, hey, your contact form was received. One of our associates will get back to you as soon as possible or something like that. Now, after the first one, then what you want to do is you want to control when this gets sent out again. So right now, if you wanted to, you could simply, I'm going to override this one, but here we could simply do a time delay. Okay. So instead of the time delay here, what we can end up doing, notice that there's several different things that you've got here. Okay. So you can do a time delay. There's an event appointment time. There's several different things that you can do here, but let's just say we do time delays for this one. And here we're going to say, wait 2 days on this one. And then notice over here where it says resume on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, window from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. So if it hits at this particular time, let's just say it hits at 10 p.m., then this thing is going to wait. It's going to wait 2 days, but it's going to put this on hold. It's going to stop because that 10 a.m. or sorry, that 10 p.m. is outside of this event window from start to end. So it's that 10 p.m. is not within 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And because it's not, then, that's something that you want to sit back and control when the emails actually get sent out between that particular period. So it'll end up waiting until the next time is start time at 6 o'clock, and then the clock will actually start. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's one way that you can actually control this. And you can do some additional filters if you wanted to down here. It's pretty cool. But that's one way that you can control when those emails actually get sent out, just using the wait step. Now, another thing I want to sit back and show you is what happens if you want to build something real quick. Let's just say you have something that you're having a launch coming up. Okay. And you want to get all this stuff ready for the launch. And you might have a whole email sequence built already. And you want to make sure that you put everybody into that email sequence and have it ready to go as soon as a particular date and time arrives. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to add another action. I believe it's just, I think it's like event. Yes. Set event start time. So here we're going to set the event start time. So here we have a particular date and time that we're looking for. So we're going to click on this and say, we're not going to do custom fields. We're not going to worry about that. Let's just say we specify a date and time. So here we're going to simply specify, let's just say we're going to do December 1st. Now, December 1st, if we can simply just change this to, maybe it's going to be 8 o'clock up if I did it right. There we go. Just 8 a.m. So once we do that, now we've got this thing going off December 1st at 8 a.m. So that right there is when we're going to have this thing go. So we're going to simply save action. Now we have an event start time. Okay. Now, ultimately, we'd love to be able to sit back and have this workflow probably get moved to the top. That might be something that you want to actually do directly and move it to the top. So if you wanted to, you can click on this little thing, go move action, and you can just simply click it and just say move here. So now what you end up doing is putting that start event at the top. In case you put it in the wrong spot like I just did, you can just simply use the workflow and move it without having to delete it and recreate it. So anyway, so now we have a start time. So now once we have a start time, what we want to do is we want to put in a wait step. So we're going to put in a wait step, but instead of the scheduled delete, we want to set event or appointment time. Okay. So right now, this right here says sit back and wait into the event appointment time, which is the one above it that sets for that December 1st at 8 o'clock in the morning. So right now you could just simply specify how you wanted to do all this. So do you want it to do it exact time? Do you want to do it after the event time? So after it goes, you want to do a month, day, year. So after that event time, you could say do it 20 minutes after it if you wanted to, but you can just simply just say exact time. Exact time just means as soon as that starting event happens, boom, it fires and everything is good to go. Now, what do you want to do? Simply click here, move to the next step. So now that you've done that, and of course you want to just say, wait for event start, click save. Now what you're going to do is now you have a start date that's set for the future. You have a wait event where everybody's now going to wait till that event happens, and it's going to be the exact time. And at that exact time, then the workflow will automatically release it. And here's the cool thing. You can set this up before. So now that you've got this thing built, I can come in, and I don't have any contacts here into my system, but you can actually go into your CRM system, highlight the contacts that you want. It could be anybody within a smart list. It could be just a select few people. You can highlight them and click add to trigger automation. Select the AI nurtured campaign here or whatever campaign name that you called. And now you can add them to this workflow. And what will happen is that they will sit back and actually go through this event, and they will stop right here at this waiting event. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to test this workflow. And, oh, good, I did have me in here. So I'm going to sit back and run. I'm going to put myself through here. And what you can do here, this is a great way to test it to make sure that you don't send everybody through here and something happens and it just, everybody starts getting the emails right away. That can get embarrassing. So here you will have to do a refresh, I notice, on the workflow to make sure that this thing works. And not sure if I didn't go through here or not, or if the test workflow, sorry, have to publish it. Publishing it just makes it live. Sorry about that. That's one of those things where Highlevel won't run a workflow that's in draft mode. Sorry about that. Let's try this again. My mistake. I keep everything in draft until I'm finally ready. That way I don't have any workflows out there that'll do something that I'm not wanting them to do. So I'm going to put them in here again. So this right here should put them in here and start the campaign. Hopefully just give it a few seconds here, do a refresh. And there we go. So if we take a look here, we see there is one person now waiting in the queue. So it went through the event start time and it stopped right at the waiting queue, just like it was supposed to. And if you wanted to, you can click on that little tab and you can actually see who that is. So this right here is just me. So right now, if I wanted to, I can click on that particular person, click on the trash can, and then I just remove myself from the workflow. So that's one way I could do it. So that right there is just a great way to test it, to make sure the wait step is making sure everybody stops there at the wait event, that you got it done right. And then once you do that, you can start sending hundreds, thousands of people in here, get them triggered and ready to go. And then at this point, you don't have to worry about forgetting about it. You don't have to worry about being in front of the computer at December 1st at 8 a.m. to send everybody through this workflow and have it go automatically. You could just do it and have it stop here and schedule for a certain event. Hey, I hope you found this video useful. This is, again, a very easy process of building email campaigns. But if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it, just supporting the channel. You guys have a great day and thanks so much. Bye-bye.